Let's bring in the chairman and CEO of American Airlines, Doug Parker, as you guys report Q1 results, basically in line with expectations with the loss of $4.32 a share, revenue coming in at just over $4 billion. Let's talk about what you saw in the first quarter, that cash burn, separate from the debt and severance payments. You turned positive in March. Do you believe that it continues to accelerate from here over the next couple of months?
Yeah, first off, yeah, look, we're still going through tough times in the business. It was a tough quarter. We don't like losing that much money. Our revenues were down 62% from 2 years ago. But as you know, the story of the quarter was acceleration at the tail end. We got to where we were cash positive in the month of March. That's certainly the first time that's happened since the pandemic. Our revenues, while they were down 62% for the full quarter, they were down more like 70% in January and down closer to 50% in March. So real acceleration throughout the quarter, and that's continuing now as we head into the second quarter.
The summer capacity, are you expecting levels to be where they were pre-pandemic for across the entire country, or is it more a case of still mainly some of those spots like Florida, maybe the southwestern United States, places that people are vacationing and visiting?
It'll absolutely be targeted. We're not going to be back to where we were 2 years ago. We've retired about 10% of our aircraft, so even if we're flying all of our airplanes, we'll be about 10% smaller. And we certainly will be flying more to leisure markets because those are the people that are traveling the most today, for certain. But that'll change as business starts to come back and as international travel comes back. But through the summer, yeah, we're going to be flying a lot more to beaches and mountains and places where leisure travelers want to go.
And you've added, within the last couple of weeks, flights to certain destinations, even some international markets. Let's start first off with international.
Sure.
Where is that at in terms of, does it come back a little bit? How much more does it come back, I would guess, by the end of this year compared to where it is right now?
Yeah, that one's hard to tell. There's obviously huge pent-up demand for international travel. I don't know about you, but everyone I talk to is talking about when they can start flying international again. Certainly business travelers are. But for the most part, we're all precluded from doing it by bilaterals or by restrictions that are in place or quarantines, et cetera. Those are starting to come down, but they haven't. And we're not looking to rush that. Those will come down as countries get comfortable with people traveling back and forth. So I'm not sure when that comes back. Some countries, Greece is now has dropped some of their restrictions. Ireland, some other countries are starting to drop restrictions, and we see bookings pick up immediately as that happens. So it'll be gradual, and again, we're not looking to rush it. Everyone needs to be safe, and those are largely between two countries.
And on the corporate side, is it primarily driven by the fact that you've got to see these companies opening up their offices and saying, yeah, we want more people out on the road?
Yeah, absolutely. Business travel, also huge pent-up demand. We're starting to see business travel. Happy to see you here.
Yeah.
Happy to see people getting out again. But what really needs to happen to get business travel really going is people. There have to be people inside headquarters. We have to have people returning to work and people to go visit and go see. But again, that feels like that's coming pretty quickly. As you talk to bankers and others, they're realizing that they're losing business if they don't have their people on the road. So they're getting on the road. So we'll get there sometime probably in the back half of this year.
You had to borrow heavily in order to get through this pandemic. Yeah. All the airlines did, but right. You probably more than any other airline, because your debt is so strong or big. I mean, it's close to $40 billion. The cynics look at that and they say this is going to hamper their ability to grow even as traffic comes back. How worried are you about that debt level?
Well, I'm not worried about how it impacts us strategically. We can certainly service the debt, but it's higher than we want. We entered 2020 looking to reduce our debt by $8 to $10 billion over the next 5 years. We're still going to do that from here, but now it's higher than we wanted it to be. That's just natural debt amortization, and we don't need significant financing going forward. So that's going to happen organically, but. As we come through this, we're going to end the second quarter with something around $20 billion of cash. It's a lot more cash than we're going to need going forward. As we get to sustainable cash flow, we'll use some of that to prepay debt. As we get to sustainable cash flow, we'll use that to prepay debt. So we'll reduce it even more.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.